Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. If you're enjoying the podcast, go out and tell 2 friends today to show them how easy it is to subscribe to the show. Why keep all this goodness to yourself? Spread the love around. On today's show, we're talking about erosion, but not the usual form of erosion that happens when it rains. I'm talking about the factors that erode your business. When we encounter erosion, the natural reaction is one of dismay or disappointment. This shouldn't be happening. So what could erode your business? These are the small things that you hardly notice. These are the inefficiencies that individually are hardly noticeable, but collectively amount to quite a bit. On today's show, we're covering the top 5 sources of erosion for many businesses. In real estate, number 1, contractor theft. This is when your subcontractors order a little extra material. It's natural. You need a little extra tile to handle the waste that results from the cuts at the edge of the room. But general materials like lumber, drywall, fasteners that you purchased often are not returned at the end of the job if there's excess. This is absolute waste, and it's actually theft. It doesn't amount to much, maybe a couple of 2x4s here, a few sheets of plywood there, but overall it adds up. Number 2, subscriptions. These are the software services that might have been ordered a few years ago. Today, you wouldn't subscribe to that same software. I'm actually guilty of this one. I have several examples of staff that are no longer part of the organization. It's important to keep an archive of their email. Our email is hosted by Google, and the cost is $6 a month for the business suite for every single account. It would take about 15 minutes to shut down that specific user account and create an archive file. But before you actually delete the account and save the $6 a month, you want to make sure that the archive is readable in the future should you need to access it. That process takes about another half an hour, maybe sometimes even more. As you can imagine, saving those $6 hasn't come to the top of my priority list this month, anywhere in the organization. It wasn't a priority last month, and it probably won't be a priority next month either. So we have $6 of erosion every month, and it's been over a year. Number 3, increasing your tenant's rent. In some cases, if your property is rent controlled, you might only be able to increase your rent maybe 2 or 3% a year. Sometimes I've seen property management fail to increase the rent because it's only an extra $22 a month, less than $1 a day. Increasing the rent isn't urgent. You've got other more pressing things to work on. You have investor reports, accounting deadlines, and the lady in Unit 30 who wants her blinds repaired. Number 4, property tax appeals. Everyone who owns property needs to pay their fair share of property tax. But the property tax assessment process is far from perfect, and there's numerous examples of assessment that are way out of whack with other comparable properties in the area. I know one investor with a large portfolio. The savings in property taxes are sufficient to justify a full-time employee on salary in his particular case. That's all that person does. They appeal tax assessments. Number 5, insurance. Insurance prices and coverage vary widely. The easiest thing to do is to pay the same insurance company upon renewal. Yeah, it's gone up an extra 10 or 15% since last year, and you'll grumble about it. But I have several recent examples where by shopping around, I was able to save anywhere from 25% to 65% on my insurance bill. And I'm not talking about reducing coverage. I take the time to read the insurance policy and understand the coverage. In fact, many brokers are surprised when I request a copy of the policy. I'm told that I can get a copy of the policy after it's issued. But that's like buying a brown paper bag and the salesman tells you can only see the contents of the bag after purchase. Trust us, you're going to like it. All of these things are small on their own. But when your cash flow is a subset of your profit margin after debt service, that 1 to 3% erosion of the gross revenue can, over time, accumulate into wiping out a large percentage of your cash flow. Cash flow is the most important metric for a real estate investment business, and it means you need to pay close attention to some of these small items that are eroding your business, bit by bit, chipping away at your profit. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.